Sorry, Anna, I forgot. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, if it's hot in Jinotega, the rest of the country is sweltering.
100, 115, I hear. Yes.
And humid and humid.
Yeah.
Babu's coming. All right, Bay and Bibi. Bay and Bibi. Can you tell us who you are? You got a video, microphone? Can you hear me? Bay and Bibi. Maybe not. Okay, well, hang in there. All right. Babu, Asalia's coming in. That's great. All right, guys. Hola, Asalia.
Oh,
How was your day?
great.
Great. Good. Okay, we still need Mr. Roseborough.
Lista.
Fearless leader. Here's your Doug. Who's new? Denise, I know, is new. Peggy, new. Okay. I got a little bit of Denise's story. Peggy, why do you want to speak Spanish?
Necesito aprender más. Es un buena lengua y yo uso en mi trabajo voluntario.
Oh, muy bien, muy bien. En una iglesia, en un hospital, ¿y dónde? ¿Dónde estás?
Servicio y misionario trabajo.
Muy bien, muy bien. Excelente. Bienvenida, bienvenida. Excelente. Lori Sola. Hello, bienvenida. ¿Cómo estás?
Gracias, gracias. Bien, bien.
Okay.
¿Y tú?
Excelente. Gracias por estar
Perfecta.
aquí. Okay. Muy bien. Ya hablas español.
Sí.
Okay, you already speak Spanish. That's
Sí.
great. Good,
Trato
good.
trato de hablar español.
Okay. ¿De dónde eres? ¿Dónde vives, Lori?
En Los Ángeles.
En Los Ángeles. Okay.
Los Ángeles.
Los Ángeles. Good, good. ¿Y Peggy, dónde vives?
En Maryland, de los
Okay.
Estados Unidos.
Okay. Muy bien. Excelente. Bienvenidos a todos. Okay, Babu, we can't see you. That's okay. All right. Bob, Charlotte, Nancy, Michael, everybody, how are y'all doing?
Fine.
Bueno.
Good. Okay. Nadia Ocho. Nadia Ocho. Okay. So for anybody who's new, this is very casual. We're going to show you some examples and we're going to play around with translating from Spanish to English and from English to Spanish. We're going to mute Nadia 8. There we go. Okay. Nadia.
Hola, hola.
Hola. Okay. Estás aquí. Muy bien. Okay. So, Anna, are we on our own tonight?
No, él está.
No. Ah, aquí está, Mr. Roseborough. You got, I'm sorry, I lost you in the mosaic, and I was getting,
Or not.
I was getting worried.
I mean,
What would we do? And for anybody who does not know, the examples that you're going to see tonight were created by James Roseborough here in the group. He's done an incredible amount of work to help this group master English and Spanish. ¿Otros hispanohablantes? No, no hay. Okay. Well, we might get Raquel and a couple of others to drop in. In the meantime, any specific questions? Anybody run into anything during the week? How do you say?
I did. How would you say this makes no sense to me?
That's a great question. Okay. All right. Anna, I'm going to go ahead and share the document and we can type that into the document. Okay.
Okay.
All
Para
right.
mí, eso no tiene ningún sentido.
Okay. So I'll get a little bit larger view. That is a great question, Chet. So Chet, how do you think you say it?
Eso no tiene sentido. A mí?
Para mí,
Para mí, okay.
You already knew.
I already thought I knew. And I
Eso,
and that
eso
was
no
wrong
tiene
because I
sentido.
thought it was me. I mean, for me or something like, yeah, for me.
It's por.
No.
But it still doesn't make sense to me how it's said. Is it, I mean, in
Wait.
an English translation. This makes no sense to me.
This has,
Doesn't have sense.
well, but it's not word for word, Chet. That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. This has no meaning for me. This has no
Okay, there we go.
for me, right?
Okay.
This has no basis for me. This has no, we do use this has no construction in English sometimes, right?
Mhm.
In Spanish, it's all the time, or in this case,
Pardon me.
para mí. Okay, and and number one, the sentence number one. Before you all came on, I asked Anna, why is it por mí and not para mí?
Yeah.
Puedes hacer algo por mí. And I said to Anna, I would have said para mí. And she explained the difference. So Anna, please explain it again.
Yes, when you make puedes hacer algo por mí, but it's for me, it's whatever. It's can you do me a favor? Can you go and do the groceries for me? When you call someone for me, can you send me coffee, whatever, okay? But if I ask, puedes hacer algo para mí, implies that I'm going to make it with my hands. Okay, I can make eggs for you. ¿Puedes hacer comida para mí? Yes, I can make food for you. I can make the dinner for you. I can make a juice for you. So yes, we use para mí and for me, but depends of the context. Okay. In this case, for me is whatever. We don't know what exactly. Can be anything. But para mí is if I am able to make it with my hands.
James, is this the use of for in exchange for? Can you
No.
do something for? No. Okay.
No.
No.
Nope. Okay.
This is exactly, can you do something for me? Is por, and can you make something for me on my behalf is para.
Would have never guessed.
No,
Yes,
none of us would. That's why we
Yes,
need Anna and Asalia and all the native Spanish speakers.
Yeah.
Is it
Well, that well, go ahead.
Go
sorry.
ahead, Bryce. It's
I was
okay.
going to say that's why on the examples, like I did the first example to demonstrate the favor, and then the next example is to demonstrate for something. You know, because you can say, you know, like puedes hacer algo por mí, or puedes hacer algo para mí, but they don't mean the same thing. Which I think Anna covered that, but. You
Okay.
can say both of those sentences make sense, but they mean different things.
okay?
They're not an interchangeable, like, okay, I can use por or para for either. It's one means one thing and the other means the other.
Okay. So let's translate number two. Who wants to do number 2? How do we say that in Spanish?
Pan,
Pana.
Think of construct.
Construir.
Yeah.
pan a construir.
Yeah.
Don't know what a
Ellos van het-
recreation center is.
Centro para recrear,
Almost.
no sé.
Una centro recreación.
Recreativo.
Recreativo. O el,
Ah, sí.
o el vecino.
Or a barrio.
Is it por or para? Just remember what Bryce just said?
That's gonna be better.
Para.
Para el vecino. Para la vecina.
Vecindario.
Barrio.
Yeah, so it's not for the neighbor, it's for the neighborhood.
Vecindario.
Hey, I want to say,
Barrio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. I just want to do this. There we go. Welcome, Michelle. I hope you can hear me. Yep, feel free to just observe. We got your text here. All right. Okay, so this is the whole point. Bryce has already thought of this. Okay, illustrating hacer algo por mí versus construir, to build a recreation center para el vecindario, right? Or barrio.
Can you
Great.
explain that one a little more, please?
So think about this, that this is a physical thing that is constructed for the neighborhood's benefit, or like what Anna was saying, if she makes eggs for me or for her son, right? That would be para. The eggs are para su hijo, right? But if she's doing a service, like can you go to the grocery store? Can you do something for me? It's por mí.
Almost got it.
Yeah.
So it's like in place of you, like you would go or you would call them, but you're asking them to go as if they're like you.
You know,
I
that's a hadn't thought of it that way, but that makes sense.
Like if you ask somebody to work for you on Friday, sort of to cover your shift,
Puedes hacer,
yeah, it would be,
But that's a double thing. You can say, I want somebody to work for me. That means to cover me, or he wants to, I want to employ this person.
yeah,
So I
para
think
is
it's
if you're
both.
working for that person, like
Yeah.
like,
they're
yeah, where
employing.
for would be work in place of me.
Hey,
Whoa.
I want to say just a couple of things about these. The biggest thing is there are some of them that follow rules when it comes to por and para.
Mhm.
But the biggest benefit you're going to get are the examples, because the biggest thing you're going to get is the examples, because after a while it's not going to be hard to remember the certain situations. Some of them you could eliminate right away. Some of them you can eliminate right away, but it's not like, for example, you can use por before infinitive. You can use para before an infinitive, depending on the situation. So I can't even say, well, okay, we can only use por before an infinitive or para, so a lot of these are going to be, they're going to make sense. They're
So-
going to make sense.
A lot of people have heard this a lot of times, but what we preach here at ShareLingo is learn by examples rather than the rules. Some people love the rules, and that's great. But for the majority of us, it comes down to hearing something enough times to where it sounds right. That's by having more and more and more examples so that it just kind of sounds right that puedes hacer algo por mí. Okay, that sounds right. When you're saying, can you do something for me? Right. And it just comes down to familiarity with the sentence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you do something for me versus can you make something for me?
Excellent. All right. Great examples. So again, for anybody who's new, this document will be available tomorrow. And so you can take notes or you can find this document in, I think, in a couple of places tomorrow. All right. Number 3, anybody want to have a go? William, thank you for being here. William, bienvenido.
Hello,
Está
I'm so
Hello.
sorry, but because I have a little delay. But
Está bien, amigo.
the number 3 is está demasiado lejos para caminar.
Yeah.
This is in English is too far for walking.
It's too far to
Yeah.
It's too far to walk.
Too far to
Yes.
walk.
Yes.
Oh, it's too far to walk. Mhm.
Okay.
Está.
So that's how we say it in English, right? To walk. It's too far to walk.
Okay.
Okay. So you will be tempted. Yo sé
There
que
are other way to say this or only unique. It's too far to walk.
this is the only way I would say it.
No.
Anybody else?
Y es más natural.
Sí.
It's too far to walk.
Okay.
Yeah. No decimos it's too far for walking. No decimos.
No. Mm.
No decimos is too far. You can say, por ejemplo, si yo puedo decir, it's too far for me.
Yes.
Para mí es
Mhm.
tan lejos. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks so much for that feedback.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Thank you for considering me for the position. Anybody going for a job interview? In Spanish? In español?
Yeah,
I
tomorrow.
can do this one.
Uh-huh.
I can do this one.
Okay.
Gracias por considerarme para la posición. I don't know if this is correct.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
El puesto.
Puesto de trabajo.
Okay. So this is something you can write down in your journal, right? When you're talking about a work position, puesto de trabajo. And just to equate those. That's just a thing, right?
Puesto
de
trabajo.
That example is a is a twofer. It's got
Yeah.
por and para.
Uh-huh.
Twofer. But the one reason I put that one is gracias por, whatever it is, it's always going to be gracias por. That will never ever change to gracias para. That won't happen. So that's one you can just totally eliminate. There's no guesswork as far as between por and para. You know, gracias por invitarme, gracias por estar aquí, just whatever.
So that one little piece of advice that Bryce just gave you is worth coming today. Okay. That is such a simple thing to have, like, black and white, clear. Thank you. Right.
Yep.
Gracias por. Gracias por. Gracias por. All right. All right. And everybody gets the considerarme.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other way to use that, Bryce? Can we flip the may around or is not?
I would just leave it right there. I
That's
haven't
the
heard
right,
anybody.
that's the right way
Yeah.
to put it.
Yeah.
Okay. Could be a question. All right. Lo aprendió por su cuenta.
I'm not sure.
Learned it on his own or he learned it by himself?
Bingo.
Who said that?
Charlotte.
Good job, Charlotte. All right. Like it's kind of like he learned it on his own account, right? All right. Por su cuenta, for himself.
How would you say he learned it by heart?
Ah, good question. All right. Like the national anthem or the
Yes.
okay. Have a guess. Have a guess. Because obviously it's not literal.
Memorizar. Con memorizar.
Uh-huh.
Ah, de memoria.
Okay. He memorized it, learned it by heart. Uh-huh.
Or,
Asalia, do you know this one? Learned by heart.
No.
It's one of our sayings. It's a new one. He learned it by heart. It means he memorized it.
if I didn't know, I might say palabra, palabra.
You can say I learned it word for word. He learned it
Mhm.
word for word.
Okay, let's add that in there.
So I have a question. Can I say he learned by himself?
Yes.
Okay, yes, absolutely. I'm going to put it in there.
Thank
Okay.
you.
How do I say that in Spanish? By himself.
Por el mismo. No sé, I think.
Mhm.
Aprendió por el mismo. Por
Sí.
sí,
Por sí mismo.
Su mismo.
por el mismo.
Okay,
Por él
Por
mismo.
sí mismo. Of course, if it's a woman, it would be por sí misma.
mhm.
Yeah,
Of course, Bryce. Yeah.
I just wanted to say this for people because I don't want to take for granted that everyone knows, you know what I mean?
It's an important
Yeah.
point that recognize that is a female or male in Spanish, in English, no.
Yes. Okay.
What was the Spanish for the word for word?
Word for word. How do you say word in Spanish?
Well, palabra, yeah, but what was it por or para?
I just said palabra a palabra.
Oh, palabra a palabra. Okay. Gracias.
I don't know if it's
I-
correct. That's just what I
I
would
would have
say.
said I would have said palabra por palabra, but maybe that's
Okay.
wrong. Let's find out.
No.
We could, this is like we need like that Jeopardy music. Dun, 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 dun. We're waiting.
That was
Yay, James. Yay, James. Okay. Palabra por palabra. Because it's a comparison kind of construction, right? And we use por to, word for word. This is awesome. Okay. Who's having fun? We are going to throw a party to honor the team.
Vamos a fiesta para honrar el equipo.
Okay, someone specific,
Let me try.
specific doing that one.
Voy a hacer
Someone, let me.
una fiesta. Vamos a
Hermoso.
hacer una fiesta.
Hermoso.
Ah,
Sí.
everybody goes, ah,
Ah,
Is that-
make a party.
Whereas may look so simple, but otherwise we just keep thinking how we
Uh-huh. Yeah. We're gonna make a party.
En honor al equipo.
In honor of
En
the team
honor de
or
Partido.
to honor, all right? Para honrar. Honrar. That's hard to say.
Mhm.
And one thing I want to say too is a lot of times for the things that are said in English, you can say in order to. Now, if you can say in order to, then it probably is going to be para. Like they're going to have a party in order to honor the team.
Sí.
Right, so if we tried to say tirar, people are gonna look at us like we've got 3 heads.
Tirar,
Bro,
like to throw.
tirar?
Yeah, yeah. It's like how do you do that? Like you
Oh,
put it-
party.
you'd have to put it in a box and like throw it,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Okay. How about the next one?
Let me try. You
Okay.
have to be you have to be ready this weekend. Wait a minute. You have to be ready for that this weekend.
It has to be ready for this
Here.
weekend.
Tiene que listo. Okay. Okay.
Now the tiene is a little bit
Tricky.
it could be he or she also, couldn't it, Bryce?
Yes, it could. That's why that's a good point. That's why within the course of a conversation, you know the context for which you're talking if you're having a conversation. They're referring to something, they've already referred to something in the conversation, and the other person says, well, it has to be ready for this weekend.
Right.
So
Like,
that's just the context one.
can you make a cake for me? It has to be ready for the weekend.
You can also say it has to be ready by the weekend.
Yes, yes,
Mhm.
yep.
So in English, we can absolutely say it has to be ready by this weekend.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All right, mama.
Thank you.
Okay. Examples.
Take your water.
All right. Everybody's staring at number 8.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Who wants to?
Let's
Me.
go with
Talia wants to do it. Her Spanish is really good.
Se burlaron de él y por eso ya no quiere ir a la escuela.
yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, Anna,
I wanted to say
Talia or Anna or Bryce or somebody, do you use the commas like we do?
For
Pardon?
that,
Would it be correct to add
No,
commas? You
no, it's a
don't
little
for
bit
that one.
different.
Right?
Because before the Y, it's not necessary to put a comma. 30 years ago, when I was in the elementary school, maybe more,
Mhm.
you could do that. You could put a comma before the Y, and then they just decided that it wasn't necessary. So before the Y, it's not necessary.
Uh-huh.
now, I want to make a clarification on something on this example. The sentence is correct. Se burlaron de él y por eso ya no quiere ir a la escuela. But just so we know, they make fun of him is actually, for the English part, that's in the present. Se burlaron.
Oh,
Like, so her sentence is correct. She's talking about the past. She's talking about they made fun of him
This
versus
is se burlan de él.
Entonces,
yes,
ella-
Eso sabe.
Por eso ya no quiere ir a la escuela. Yes.
That's horrible.
of course, se
Right.
burlaron is still a correct. That's still a correct sentence. It's just depending on what you want to talk about, the past or the present.
Right.
I have a question.
Mhm.
The word ya in the Spanish there, I can see where a sentence makes sense with that if you were saying they make fun of him and now he doesn't want to go to school.
Uh-huh.
But in the context of the original English sentence, where would ya have fit in?
Okay, Peggy, on that one, actually, it's a good point. It is still correct, but in the English part, if it was he doesn't want to go to school anymore, you can use ya for that. So it doesn't say that it doesn't say he doesn't want to go to school anymore in the in the English sentence, but that's a good point.
Good, thank you.
Bryce, why por eso?
Because that's a way of saying because of that.
Okay,
Yes.
it's just a phrase.
Yes. Por eso. Yeah.
It's like, and so. You could also say for the Spanish speakers. All right.
Be about something, por eso.
This is very common. Es común.
It's very common.
Significa por eso. También.
Do you ever use el para eso? Does that ever make a phrase for any?
It
ever
has a
time when you do that?
certain purpose.
Yeah, that's be a different meaning for that's a different meaning for that.
Like yeah. Okay.
And just remember, Carol, just going back to what I said earlier, you can use para eso in certain situations, but just always keep in mind that it's not interchangeable for the same situation.
Oh, sure, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. All right.
Está esperando
There's a couple questions in the chat. If people are watching the chat go past, asking about the Facebook group. There are a couple of Facebook groups. There's an ShareLingo group, which is kind of for our students and members. And then there's a public group and the public page. And we can, Anna's taking care of that right now. So she's got it under control. Like always. All right, number 9.
I want to try that, James, please.
Go for it.
It looks easy to me, so I want to try.
Okay.
It, it could be he or she, or waiting for a taxi, waiting for a taxi.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Yes.
And so, and how would you be, Ken, how would you make it specific? He is waiting
Okay,
for
so
a taxi.
ella o él esperando
You still need the está. You still needs, it still needs to be
okay.
doing
So
something.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
ella está esperando un taxi,
Yeah.
or él está esperando un taxi.
Okay. And why is it not por or para un taxi?
Yeah,
That's
why
a-
not?
Yeah, that's
that's
what I
a-
was
that-
thinking.
well,
That's
that-
actually
that's
I was
a-
thinking. Why
that's a-
por una
that's a-
taxi, or
What-
it could it can't be. I get it. It more likely like it could be like per than para, or maybe
Uh-huh.
Well,
I think it's
it's
para.
already implied in the Esperanto. Those are good questions. That's exactly why I put that, because I hear a lot of people, because it's very natural to say está esperando. I mean, it's very instinctive to say está esperando para un taxi, because I hear people say that. So I wanted to show an example of, in English it might be for, but the word for is eliminated in the Spanish
Think of
translation.
the way I think of that is that esperando doesn't mean waiting. It means waiting for.
Ah,
That's just me.
Mm.
Okay.
That's okay. That's
there
Could
you
it
So-
go.
could it also be expecting?
Sure.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
would make sense. Is expecting a taxi, waiting for a taxi, right? But we don't want to
Okay.
say waiting for a taxi. And that helps me a little bit in that context. Cool.
Mhm.
All right.
Chévere.
So he or she
Ando.
waiting for a taxi.
Can I try this again, or somebody?
There's no rules.
Okay, so ella está no, like look,
You said it.
buscando para buscando para su llave.
So
Llaves.
llaves.
Llaves, yeah.
Or it depends on where you're from or who you're talking to, whether it's llaves or llaves or.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anna, what's the correct pronunciation of the double L?
Yeah.
Llaves.
Yes.
Chavez.
Like
Astalia?
Chavez in Argentina.
Chavez.
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 Great.
That's another one, the same as esperando. The for is already implied in buscando. You don't have to say está buscando para sus llaves.
Yeah,
Say
so-
buscando sus llaves.
Buscando, same deal. Looking for. Awesome. Okay. Asalia, William, how do you say llaves? Para pronuncia esa palabra, por favor.
Llaves.
Llaves.
Llaves también. Okay.
Llaves.
Okay. It's just a regional accent thing. Neither one's wrong. Unless you go to Colombia and then they get really on to you. No, that's wrong. Mis llaves. No, that's wrong. Okay. Es muy inteligente para su edad.
What is it?
Para su edad. Para su edad. Not por su edad. Para su edad.
Sweet. It is so edad. You like saving.
Well, come on, guys. What does para su edad mean?
For his age.
For his
His
age.
age, right? And we know what inteligente means.
Y en este ejemplo, ¿por qué usa para?
It's
Uh-huh.
just, it's. you
Because
just
it sounds
use-
like
No, that's,
Why do we use para?
you see, in order.
it's gonna be hard to explain in every situation.
This is
It's just
one
what it's for.
I
Just
said
like
last week. It's because that's what your mom taught you, right? And just take it. Just
Okay.
para su edad.
I'll
Para su
accept
edad.
it.
Try to get specific.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Number 12 is an AB. Okay.
Ah,
Maybe.
La normalmente es
El torneo
or no.
va a comenzar en la mañana.
I'll compensar.
Por la
Can I try? Or if somebody wanna
Wait,
try?
hold on.
El torneo va
Let's
Va
let,
a comenzar.
let's gotta let a couple people hash it out.
sí.
El turno.
Se fue a la mañana. Comes.
Siempre es.
Go.
And I want to make a point here. It's okay if it's difficult. That's great. That's great. It's supposed to be a little bit difficult. That's how we learn. If it's too easy, we're not learning anything. So if you're really focused and thinking right now, that's a really good thing. Okay.
I wanted to say something now. I would say por la mañana.
Por la mañana también.
Por.
How do you say the games?
Los juegos.
Los
Los-
partidos.
Partidos.
Los-
Partidos. Los partidos.
Partidos is sports, no?
It's
Los
okay.
juegos.
That's good. Say that again. Partidos.
Los-
Partidos.
Yeah.
Los partidos.
Partidos.
Right. But a football game, you know.
Can you say matches? Matches? Match? The match?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
The match, like the tennis match, the match. Well, you can. It's correct. The match will begin, like one match, or all of the matches will begin at 10 a.m.
Thank you.
Van a comenzar. Van a
There you
comenzar.
go.
Comenzar.
A las 10 por la mañana. De la mañana.
Day.
Okay.
Yes.
De la mañana.
So that one
Good.
would not be, that would not be por la mañana, right?
Yes. The reason why I put that one is because, you know, when you say, like in the first one, the tournament is going to start in the morning. That's not a specific time. So you can say, you know, en la mañana, por la mañana. But when you say a time, you know, you say the time and you have to say day. You know, you can't say, you know, a las 10 por la mañana. That would be incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a specific
Empezar.
time. At the time, when is the time you use day? Use de la mañana.
So how do I say?
Yo lo veo por la mañana.
La.
¿No?
Sí.
Hold on one second.
Y veo por la mañana.
That's literal. That's literal.
But not right.
Nos vemos para mañana. No, sí.
Okay. Te veo. I will see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, you can say that. But what you will always hear, well, what I always hear is nos vemos
Yeah, me too.
en la mañana, por la mañana.
or just mañana. Nos vemos mañana.
Or hasta mañana, or any of those, yeah.
Nos vemos like we'll see each other.
Yes,
Oh, I'll see you.
yes,
Mhm.
we'll see each other, nos vemos.
Nos vemos.
Yeah, it's very, very common. Okay, nos vemos.
Something about por when we talk about time. It's correct to say nos vemos por la mañana, or like in this example, por la mañana. That's right. Okay, you can learn it that way, but what is really, really common is instead of por, we will use en. Okay, that's like 99% of the time we will use en instead of por.
Yeah.
I'd like to speak to that because I talked to several different people from different areas, and they're like, oh no, it's por la mañana, and then in another place it's en la mañana. I think it's
Yes.
just different.
Both are right. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
it's so funny, but they were both like, oh no, we only really use por. And then another person like,
Yeah.
oh no, we only use and.
Yeah.
That is great. That is great. Thank you, Lori. And so think about, I gave this example a week or two ago. Lori, do you turn on 42nd Street or do you turn onto 42nd Street?
Onto.
Okay. All right. How many people are onto people and how many people are on people?
Onto.
Onto, turn on to 42nd Street. Okay.
What
Turn
about
on
you?
42nd Street. Right. So the point is, depends on where you grew up.
Yeah.
And so now this is a real question because people do stress out about these little details a lot more than we need to.
Yes.
So once somebody can say either one's okay,
Yeah.
right? It really takes a lot of pressure off of us.
Can you say nos vemos mañana?
See?
Or is that
Nos vemos
totally
mañana.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's commonly said, I think, like amongst people when you talk, nos vemos mañana. I never hear nos vemos
En la
por
mañana.
la mañana, en la mañana. It's always nos vemos mañana.
So the difference, I would say, Carol, for me, is the difference between see you tomorrow versus see you in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Vemos mañana, see you tomorrow. No vemos en la mañana, see you in the morning.
in the morning? Okay, fine.
Yeah, it's if you say no vemos mañana, it's any time. I know I will see you, but I don't know what time. But if I see you, nos
Let's
vemos mañana, en la mañana, it's specifically. I know in
Mhm.
advance I will meet you tomorrow at 8
It's
a.m.
for
or 9.
lunch.
Thank you. Sorry, I have so many questions, but that's how I
You
am.
all- you-
Oh, it's
we
good.
know that, and you always ask
I
great.
know. I'm
You ask-
sorry.
No, you contribute a lot. Don't stop. Don't stop. All right, excellent. Just checking messages. Okay. Creo que tenemos que ir por ese camino. William.
And well, this is I believe we have to go through this way.
That's cool.
That's close. That's very
Very
close.
close.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to go that way. I believe we have to go that way.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So this is a case of camino is a way, a direction, right?
Other way to say this sentence?
Oh, probably 100. Yeah. Okay. Direction. We have to go that direction,
Mhm.
right?
We have to go. Okay.
We have to go that way. We have to go that direction. Now, what is the difference between we have to go that way or follow that path? Okay.
This is I was thinking about is go to the way or follow that path.
Okay. What is path?
Camino. Oh, good. Thank you.
So follow that way could be something mental versus
Yeah.
physical.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So for the
That's the
Spanish
path we have to
speakers,
follow
right? For
in
the
life.
para los hispanohablantes, way es una dirección. The path is the physical path, el camino.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's just stuff.
Follow that path through the forest, through the woods. Okay, cool. I want to add to this, but I won't. Okay, I will. Okay. Okay, I talked to him last night. How do we say that?
Hablé con él por el teléfono anoche. No. Anoche hablé con él. Anoche.
Okay, are these all the same?
Sí. Hablé con él.
See?
They're the same.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. Por horas. All right. So hablé is preterite, right?
Mhm.
One and done. Somebody give me an example that would be the imperfect.
Hablaba con él por teléfono cuando era joven.
There you go. You got this. You've studied.
Mucho.
Okay, awesome. Okay, great. All right. ¿Para qué estás aquí? Instead of por qué. We always hear por qué. Why are you here? ¿Por qué?
What are you here for?
¿Para
Or
qué?
what? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
That's like a sarcastic question. What are you here for?
It could be, right? It could be, Chet. Yeah. All right. It's not why are you here? It's what are you?
Mm.
Okay.
For what are you here?
Or yeah, more literally, for what
Yeah.
are you here? Oh, good?
Yeah, can we
Yeah.
make a pause?
Yes.
We have a question.
Okay. Oh, how can I start from the beginning? Where can I learn the verbs and the pronouns and so forth? This class is a bit advanced for me. No problem, Michelle. So we still think that learning by examples is the way to go. You just need some more basic examples like, you know, how do you say, have a nice day? Hello, my name is James. I live in Arizona. I have 2 children, those types of things. So the examples that you're looking for, Michelle, are the more basic, and we separate them into 2 parts, okay? There's general things that you want to learn as a beginner, like have a nice day, I live in Arizona. But there is some reason that you are learning Spanish. Could be because you want to travel. It could be like, there we go. Okay, there's a resource for you that Bob's holding.
That's a great one.
Because you want to travel, or you have Spanish-speaking family or Spanish-speaking friends, or you want to, you know, you're going on a mission trip in September. There's some reason. So Michelle, the second thing that you want to do is take a journal, make a journal if you don't already have one. Could be a notebook or an actual journal, and write down in English all the simple things that you would want to say to support your number one objective. Like, I want to go to Nicaragua in September. So
Yeah,
Michelle,
also, Michelle, if you're interested, I think in 1 week or so, we are going to start a new program specifically for beginners. It's an 8 weeks program, and we are going to work only with beginners, and we are going to help them to learn and speak Spanish in 8 weeks, okay, to move from beginner to a basic level. It includes private tutoring, online classes, specific materials, additional materials, only for beginner, following the example framework, and using also the ShareLingo method, so you know how to practice with other people. And by the end of these 8 weeks, you speak Spanish in a basic level.
we will get you from out of the beginner stage so that you are ready to for the journey through the basic level and then on to the intermediate level.
Yeah. So if you're interested, we will send you, we can send you information about this, or you can reach out to us. You send us an email at team@sharelingo.com.
Team@sharelingo.com. That's us.
Es también para los hablantes de español que quiere hablar.
Yes, it's for both. Also, we're going to have a new one for basic. So we're going to have both people from basic to upper basic, close to intermediate level, but that is more than 8 weeks. I think it's 10 or 12 weeks, because there are more things to cover, more practice, but they are very focused.
Just by way of a very, very simplistic definition of beginner, basic, intermediate, advanced, okay? You do not need the 16-part common European framework for levels A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Okay, don't worry about that unless you're going to apply for a government job, okay? Okay, so very simplistically, beginner is beginner. Like, just not comfortable yet with how verbs are conjugated or the alphabet or pretty simple things, right? For most people, if you've been through high school Spanish, even if you slept through 3/4 of it, they probably gave you enough information to not really be a beginner, right? Because you kind of learned the conjugation tables, all right? But beginner's beginner. Basic is kind of focused on present tense, which is incredibly powerful. If you do a trip, a tourist trip to Costa Rica or Panama or Nicaragua or Colombia or anywhere, you can pretty much get through the entire trip in just present tense, right? I need a room for the night. How much is it for the hotel? How much is dinner? What does this cost? That's all present tense, okay? And you can do a lot in present tense. As you start getting into the other parts of the, and that does include the subjunctive present tense, okay? As you start getting in the present subjunctive tense or mood, as you start getting into the other tenses, past, preterite, and imperfect, and future, and all the other side tenses, we call that intermediate, when you're starting to explore those other things, so that you can talk about stories. When I was a child, I did this, or when I was at the beach, I did that, right? When we get into that, that puts you in the intermediate mode, even if you don't know a whole bunch of vocabulary and verbs yet, right? It still kind of puts you into that intermediate kind of level, okay? All right. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. We want to move you forward. Cool.
Hey, you're going to say something else, James?
No, go for it.
I just want to make a quick note on last week's meeting, just to clarify something. One of the examples was I don't mind helping them at all, which is no me importa ayudarlos en absoluto. But which in that sentence, it means I don't mind, but also just keep in mind, don't get that confused with I don't care. Because so I just want to make sure everybody understands that, because it just depends on the context. If you say I don't care what you think, no me importa, no me importa lo que pienses, just for an example. That doesn't mean I don't mind what you think. I don't care what you think. So
that is
so which is which, James? No me importa is I don't care.
Well, it depends on how you use it. In the example, no me importa ayudarlos en absoluto means I don't mind helping them at all. But if I say no me importa lo que pienses, means I don't care what you think, for example. Or I don't care what you say. No me importa lo que digas, for example. So just understand that there's two different meanings for it, depending on the context for me importa, no me importa. So,
But when you don't use the reflexive, if you just say no importa.
Well, if you say no importa, that means it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. No importa lo que pienses versus no me importa means I don't care what you think specifically. Let's say me specifically. But no importa means it doesn't matter.
Oh.
Pretty good stuff, right?
Very good stuff.
Like, anybody ever watch House of Flowers? A House of Flowers on Netflix.
I know.
The character, she says, the mother says, you're not gonna get your inheritance with the flower shop, florería, and she says, no me importa tu florería, lo que importa es mi papá. But anyway, so I love
So dramatic. Oh my God.
Very funny. Netflix.
I don't care about your flower shop. The only thing that matters is my father.
My dad. Yeah.
Yeah.
She sound like a novella.
Yeah.
She talks very different. The way she talks isn't realistic, but it's very funny. She talks super slow. She's like, no me importa tu florería, lo que importa es
Is that a Mexican?
Sounds so funny.
It's a Mexican telenovela.
Yeah, no, it's the series House of Flowers. It's not the.
But is it Mexican?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Muy bien. Muy bien. All right. Any last minute questions?
No.
All right. Did everybody learn at least one thing?
Yes.
I got 5.
Yeah.
I learned I need to go back over my vocabulary again.
That's cool. That's cool. All right. Learn by examples.
Sure, I had this no me importa correct.
Great. All right, everybody. Have a beautiful week. And we will see you next week.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Gracias.
All right.
Gracias.
Nos vemos.
Gracias. Adiós.
Adiós a todos.
Yeah.
Amigos.
Gracias. Gracias por estar aquí. Thank you. William, Masalia, thanks for being here. That's great. Okay. Mallory, any questions? No, she dropped off.
Nos vemos.
All right. Nos vemos. Exactly. Nos vemos.
Adiós.
Hasta la
Gracias.
It's great. Good, good, good. Okay.
Gracias.
All right. Babu, ciao.
Thank you.
Vamos ya.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone.
Yeah.